Just 3 minutes ago, Senator John Kennedy asked FBI Director Kash Patel a question so direct that the entire room went silent. Did anyone connected to Donald Trump ask you to bury the Epstein files? Patel tried to deflect, talked about interagency coordination. Then Kennedy pulled out a document, a phone log, February 23rd, 10:47 p.m., a call from Patel's personal cell phone to Kasowitz Benson Torres, the law firm representing Donald Trump. 17 minutes. And 2 days later, 47 Epstein documents that had been cleared for release were suddenly reclassified as restricted. Kennedy looked at Patel. Did anyone connected to Donald Trump ask you to bury the Epstein files? The question hung there, unanswered. Watch this video until the end, because what Kennedy revealed, a 7-minute call, followed by 47 buried documents, exposed a timeline Patel couldn't explain. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Because in this hearing, a senator connected a phone call to Trump's lawyers with documents that disappeared 2 days later. We know John Kennedy, senator from Louisiana, Republican, Yale Law School, Oxford University. Don't let the Southern drawl fool you. Kennedy is sharp. He knows how to build a case. He knows when to ask the quiet question that dismantles a defense. And on February 13th, 2026, at 3:47 p.m., he came to the Senate Judiciary Committee with a blue folder and a phone log that Kash Patel couldn't explain away. Kash Patel walked into that hearing looking confident. FBI director, Navy suit. 3 lawyers flanked him, 2 senior aides behind him. He'd survived hostile interviews, media storms, over 100 congressional hearings. He knew how to stay calm, say little, give nothing away. The first 90 minutes unfolded according to script. Republicans asked about staffing. Democrats pressed on January 6th. Patel gave polished, evasive answers. At one point, he checked his watch. The man looked bored. Then John Kennedy's turn came. Senate Judiciary Committee, 3:47 p.m. Eastern. For 90 minutes, the hearing had followed predictable choreography. Senators reading prepared remarks. Patel responding in bureaucratically polished phrases that committed to nothing. Kennedy waited through all of it, patiently, letting Patel grow comfortable. Then Kennedy leaned toward the microphone and said the name that changed everything. Director Patel, I want to talk to you about Jeffrey Epstein. The room shifted. Immediate. Electric. Because Epstein is not a budget discussion. Epstein is a symbol of elite corruption and unanswered questions. Kennedy didn't waste time with pleasantries. Director Patel, how many documents related to Jeffrey Epstein are currently held by the FBI? Patel tried to dodge. That is a difficult number to quantify, Senator. The investigation generated substantial material. Kennedy cut him off. I did not ask for an essay. I asked for a number. Patel glanced at his attorneys. Without reviewing our internal database, I could not provide an accurate figure. Kennedy leaned forward. You are the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and you are telling me you do not know roughly how many Epstein files you are sitting on? The phrase sitting on didn't land softly. It implied possession, and possession implied responsibility. Kennedy continued, let me give you some context. According to a Freedom of Information Act request filed 6 months ago, the FBI is currently withholding approximately 2,300 documents related to the Epstein investigation. Does that number sound about right? 5 seconds of silence. Then Patel, that figure is within the general range. Within the general range meant yes. Kennedy pressed. Of those 2,300 documents, how many have been released to the public? Another deflection about redaction protocols and privacy protections. Kennedy, I did not ask about procedures. I asked how many. Patel, approximately 90 documents have been released in redacted form. Kennedy let that number hang in the air. 90 out of 2,300. That is roughly 4%, Director Patel. What is in the other 96% that the American people are not allowed to see? Patel's defense. Sensitive information, ongoing investigations, national security, privacy interests. Kennedy removed the ground beneath those pillars. Jeffrey Epstein is dead. Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison. The investigation is closed. So what ongoing investigation are you protecting? Patel shifted in his seat for the first time. There are ancillary matters that remain under review. Ancillary matters, Kennedy repeated. If the principal subjects are either deceased or incarcerated, what exactly are these ancillary matters? And more importantly, who are they protecting? Kennedy reached into his blue folder and pulled out a document dated February 8th, 2 months after Patel took office. He read from the memo, materials previously cleared for potential FOIA release have been redesignated as law enforcement sensitive and removed from the release queue. Kennedy looked up 47 documents, Director Patel. 47 documents that had been reviewed by career agents, by DOJ attorneys, by classification specialists, and cleared for release until you became director. Then they were buried again. Why? Patel tried to frame it as evolving methodology and updated risk assessments. Kennedy wasn't having it. Did anyone outside the FBI ask you to reclassify those documents? Standard interagency coordination occurs on various matters. Did anyone from the White House communicate with you about the Epstein files? I don't recall any specific. Did anyone from Donald Trump's legal team contact you about those files? Patel's expression shifted. Calculation, then composure. My decisions regarding document classification are based solely on national security and law enforcement interests, not on any external pressure. Not a yes, not a no. I need to stop here. If you've watched the video up to this point, please hit the like button. I'm serious. Because do you know what Kennedy just revealed? 47 documents, already cleared for release by career agents and DOJ attorneys. Then Patel becomes director. Suddenly they're reclassified. Kennedy is about to reveal why. And leave your thoughts in the comments. Why were 47 documents that were cleared for release suddenly buried again? I am very curious about your thoughts. Then Kennedy stood up, something rarely seen in congressional hearings. He held up a phone log. This is a phone log from February 23rd, 10:47 p.m. A call was placed from your personal cell phone to a New York law firm, Kasowitz Benson Torres. Do you know who that firm represents, Director Patel? Patel, I speak with many attorneys in the course of my duties. Kennedy, that firm represents Donald Trump. And according to this log, you spoke with someone there for 17 minutes, 3 weeks after you became FBI director. 2 days before those 47 Epstein documents were reclassified. He set the log down. Now, one more time. Did anyone connected to Donald Trump ask you to bury the Epstein files? The silence was total, not procedural, existential. Senator, that call concerned a separate matter. Kennedy cut him off with a Louisiana saying, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it is probably not a chicken. He leaned forward. You reclassified documents that were about to expose powerful people. You did so after speaking with Trump's lawyers, and now you ask us to accept that it is coincidence. Pause. Do I look like I was born yesterday? Patel tried one more defense. Senator, I resent the implication that I would compromise my integrity. Kennedy framed it as sequence, not implication. You spoke to Trump's lawyers. Documents were reclassified. You refused to provide a clear answer. Those are facts, and the American people can draw their own conclusions. Then Kennedy asked the final question. Are there documents in the Epstein files that directly implicate Donald Trump in criminal activity? Patel, Senator, I cannot comment on classified materials in an open setting. Kennedy clarified, I am not asking for content, only for existence. Do such documents exist? Yes or no? Patel declined to answer. Kennedy turned toward the camera, not at Patel, at the camera. The director of the FBI just refused to deny that evidence exists connecting Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein's criminal activities. He could have said no. He did not. Let me lay out the timeline Kennedy just established. February 8th. Memo issued. 47 documents that were cleared for release are redesignated as restricted. February 23rd, 10:47 p.m., Patel calls Kasowitz Benson Torres, Trump's law firm, 17-minute call. February 25th, 47 documents officially reclassified. 2 days. From phone call to reclassification, Kennedy didn't claim causation. He highlighted proximity. And proximity demands explanation. John Kennedy destroyed Kash Patel's defense today. Not with accusations. With a timeline, fact 1, 2,300 Epstein documents withheld. Only 90 released. That's 4%. Fact 2, 47 documents cleared for release by career agents and DOJ attorneys. Fact 3, Patel becomes FBI director. Those 47 documents suddenly reclassified. Fact 4, February 23rd, 10:47 p.m., Patel calls Trump's law firm, 17 minutes. Fact 5, 2 days later, documents officially reclassified. Fact 6, when asked if documents exist implicating Trump, Patel refused to answer. Kennedy didn't accuse Patel of a crime. He established a sequence of events and forced Patel to sit inside that sequence without denying it. Kash Patel was asked today, "Did anyone connected to Donald Trump ask you to bury the Epstein files?" Patel's response: "Interagency coordination occurs on various matters." Then Kennedy revealed a 17-minute phone call to Trump's law firm on February 23rd. 2 days later, 47 documents reclassified. When asked if documents exist implicating Trump, Patel refused to answer. If you have watched the video, please share it with your surroundings. This is not speculation. This is a documented timeline entered into congressional records, and everyone needs to know. Subscribe. I'll analyze what was discussed in that 17-minute call, why 47 documents were suddenly buried, and what Patel's refusal to deny tells us. One phone call, 17 minutes to Trump's lawyers. 2 days later, 47 documents buried. Kennedy asked, "Did anyone connected to Trump ask you to bury files?" Patel never said no. And sometimes not saying no is the loudest answer of all. Because when you can't deny something under oath, the silence speaks louder than any confession.